Hey guys, okay, let me increase the volume. Hi, so I intend to do a series of video depending on how long each video would be, as a guide to how to create a component, and in this video, I am primarily talking about creating a select form, a select view, right? And this view, so this component allows you to be used for both single select and multi select, right? So the outcome you will get is you will have the default state where nothing is selected yet, to one that is either single select, right, or multi select. And then it also includes like the different kind of states, user states, like disabled, neutral, or the default state, and when you have error, default, right, or when it's active. Okay. So it will allow us to reduce the number of the number of a component props, like, so each of them are a prop in this component, like the number of variants, right? So the aim or the outcome is for you to reduce from all these to maybe just two component props in this one component, master component. Then there is either with or without the label on the left hand side. All right, but for my case, I am putting the label at the top, right? If not, or how about that, I'll just do the one without the label, and we will have only one component, one prop that is just for the select view, right? And how I go about doing it, right? So then if time allows, then we can also see how we can play with the sizing, right? So let's say you want to have a small size, medium size, and large for the input field, and how we can structure that, right? But that will be in the second part. The first part will be how do we use the Figma variable to come up with all these different kind of variants with just one component in the end. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing is always to know what are the properties that we want to target, right, for a select view, right? So I have one example here that is using a typical text input field, and so we are going to skip the labeling part, right? So what we have here we just talk from the in terms of semantic from the top to the bottom, like the front to the back. So the front, the first one will be the text. I like to use Victor's example to start the text, followed by the label, right? Then the next one will be the surface, and then the last one will be the border, right? Then we also have the error text, but the error text does not change color when you use it, but it will show up at a particular state. So that will be, I will also show you how to do it, like to display or hide something using the different states, right? So so the first thing is okay, let me just copy all this. So what are the things that we need, right? And then in terms of color, I'll just use whatever color that that is over here, right? So I have this select fill, and then I will have the let me see, what do I have? I have the not fill, right? Why? And then for the this I will call this is the component. It's a select fill, or just call it select, right? And then this one I will just call it the variance, right? This will be how I will name the Figma variables, the collection, right? So the first one is a component. It will be under the foundation, right? Oh yeah, another thing is it would be good to list everything down, to group all the color. Like let's say I'm going to deal with colors, to have the foundational colors in one collection, and then that's where you can define the light and the dark mode, and then you will be only using one toggle for all the components, right? So so imagine like all the input fields and the select fields, the labels, the buttons, the chips, the selected chips. They are, when we define the first level, the first level, we will place them all under one single collection, and then when you want to control them, you just need one controller to switch them between the light and the dark mode, right? If not, then you have a bunch of light and dark mode for each different component for you to control, and then it will be a hassle, right? So in this case, right, this way of doing avatar foundation, button foundation, core, all these, we will all place them under a single collection, right? And then you just put a different group for each of the component, right? So that one you need to take note. Alright, so coming back, so the first variant is fill and then unfill, right? Then but before that, I will have the property. So at the foundational level, it's good for us to place the property at the top, and then you will define the variance for each property, the fill and the not fill, and then for each of them, then you will have the states, the user states, right? Right, so for user state, I like to call it neutral, like the default one. You can always call it default. Alright, and then you have the hover state, you have the active state for select view, right? And then you have the error state and also the disable state, right? So for each property, you have two variants, fill, not fill and fill. And then for each of the variant, you have 5 states, right? Why I have this variant, because let's just say that for when it is filled, I would like to have the font size to be bolder, right? So in order to do that, then I will need to have 2 different variants for the not filled and unfilled, not filled and filled. All right. If not, then I think what you will have here is just another state, which is you don't need the variant, but so this is one way of doing it, and then the other way is not to have the variants, but to have just to have separate additional state of view. Right. So for my case, I will be going for this. I'll be doing this. All right. Okay. So now we have this. Then we can start creating our like adding this into your the color foundation, right? And one thing I did not do is the dark and light mode. So if we have that, then we'll have the mode one layer, one level between the surface, right? Which is what I think you can see over here. Okay, no, we do not have that. So in the other example, in the Figma variable testing one, I have the light and dark mode, right? For them, you can always expand on that, right? So just make sure that all the different variants, all different components are all created under the same foundation. So you can use when we start binding it to a component or something, then you will be able to control the entire screen just using this toggle over here. All right. I see what I can do here. Maybe I can also add the mode in my example to have a dark and a light version, right? Right. Okay, so these are the homework that we need to do. Of course, once you have listed down your states, then you need to think about the color that you need for each of them, and you definitely do need to get them correct in the first run, because it will never be that accurate, right? You need to do at least one round, and then you play with it, then you are able to start working creating the rest. All right, so I have the input field. So like in this case, like you see the input field, I did not have the light and dark mode, right? And I will try to have it for the select field, okay? Just so that you get a full picture, right? So first, let's create a collection. I just call it 01 select foundation, okay? And add color. So the first thing will be I'll just repeat the name already again, because when you want to a link, when you do the second layer collection, and the third you want to reference something back, something one level up. I realized that you are not able to search for the collection name, right? But you are able to search the group name. Okay, so I will repeat the name of the component so that you can find it easier. You can search by group. All right, select / the first thing will be the property text, not field. Okay, and then the state neutral, right? Then you have the light and then the dark mode. So neutral will be this, which is let's just go, let's say let's just maybe go with I don't know, maybe a gray 600. So for the dark, I'll just do a inverse first. Alright, and make sure you just remove all the scope for the foundational level. Then following will be just rinse and repeat. Alright, so I'll just quiet here and repeat stuff. So for maybe hover, the color of the text won't change, but the background will change. So we just leave it as it is. Right. Right. So the next one, active. Right. No change again. Okay. Error. When you have error, then it will be red color, and then you have disable. Disable, I use lighter color of gray, maybe. Right, so with this, then I will go to duplicate this to have the field variant, right? Field variant, it will be maybe slightly darker, like 8 or 9, highest 1. Okay. No change for error. Oh, yes, there is. And then disable from 9 to maybe 7, right? The rest will just inverse. I just realized because it's from 100 to 1000, there isn't like a middle one. So I'll just see if this works or not. Right, it probably may not work also. 700, so maybe 300. Right. Alright, so we have it's done for the text. Then let's move on to the icon. Right, so the icon I'm talking about will be the chevron icon, right? So so for this, what I intend is when it is active, it has a darker color, right? When you hover, it's still the same, and then when it's active, you have a slightly darker color, right? And then I don't need to have any color change. So this one is more depending on how you want it to be, right? Like if the software, like the framework that you use, Material UI that you use, has this state change, then you can definitely go for that, right? If not, then okay, so tell you what, I'm going to remove hover because they will be the same, right? And then I will also remove field, because for both field and not field, the colors will be the same, right? So what I'm going to do here is to just rename this first and then move it away from the group so that it will be at the same level as the text, right? And then rename it. So what we have is just a neutral state for all the state when you want to use it for the second level, third level, right? So the only changes is when it's active, and when it's disabled, I have a different color. Then the rest will be just a neutral state, right? So you don't have to repeat all the different states for the field and not field, right? So those that will change will be like the surface, and then let's see. So even for surface, right, there isn't any change. So let's see. So except for text, I will have so only for text that we will have the field and not field kind of different color. But for the rest, we just need to have one mode. Okay. So let's duplicate surface. Surface is very light. Okay, I don't know how light. Let's use 200 first. And then surface, we need to have the hover, and then the active, and then the arrow, right? So when it's neutral, is one color, and then you hover over it, then you have like it becomes darker a bit, and then when it's active, then maybe we can change it to something like a light blue or light purple to see some change, right? And then when it's arrow, you want to show the arrow in the back end in the surface, and when it's disabled, maybe we will have like a 100. Okay, let's just try this out first. This color A 300. And then we also have the border. Okay. Right, so let's see, 1 2 3 4. Right, so they select foundation, all the colors are done. So the only thing is the error text, right? So error text can be used for a lot of things. So I will probably not put it under select, but just for the sake of this so-called example, I'll just put it over here, right? Error text. So we just use the same error text. Let's make sure the scope is off. Okay, it's off. Right, so the first level is done. Then let's now create a second one. Would be for the select variance. Right. So color. Then you will have the text. As mentioned, we need to repeat the component name again. Select text. And then this is where the mode at the top over here will be the field and not field, right? Text neutral. Right. So in search, select text, not field, right? And this one will be select text field neutral. Make sure you remove all the scope, then the rest will be the same. Just rinse and repeat. Alright, so just get quiet and do my stuff. So next for us is to create the states. So where at the mode you will have the different states like neutral, hover, and all that. So this one will be for text. Then we have to go to the 02 select variant. So this state level is where you will expose the scope, right? So this is the text color, so just select this, duplicate, select icon, repeat. Icon, you need to change the scope to these two, just in case your icon uses a different type. No change for the scope surface. The last one is border. So for border, it will be the stroke of that, like the component of the frame, right? Okay, so let's start binding it to a our component that we are going to build. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just pull this out. So if there are anything that is a component, then I'll just remove it. Make sure this is field. Then I'll just use baseline for this. Then 8. Okay. So for this case, what I'm going to do is I am going to create the content of the select field to be a separate component. All right. So this one will be for the state where it is not field. Then I will create another one, and that's for field, right? Later I will explain why, right? Because for the field, like the selected state, we have a different kind. We have one that is a single select value, and we also have another one which is like a multi-select value, right? We would like to able to switch between them. So in this case, in this way, you will remove the need to create two different kind of component for a single select and a multi-select. You can just use the swapping of instance to swap between a single select value and a multiple select value. Right. So in this case, I'll just pull this out over here. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. Okay. Wait, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to. See, there's so many layers. I don't know why there's so many layers. So I just need these two. Create. So you have a selected value, alright, and then you have one that is this for single select, this for multi-select, right? And then we will have one that is the default unselected state. Okay, I'll just use a placeholder. Right. So this for this I will bind the color to the text, select state text. Right. So now it is in that placeholder. Right. And for this I will have to select the not fill and default neutral, and then this one I need to bind the color also. Select the icon. Okay, so if this is the case, right, most likely the icon, the vector is filled. So should be able to get the icon again. Now it's showing. So we just now it's not showing. I know why. All these are not grouped under the select. So I cannot find it. So now if I find select, I'll be able to find this. Right. Alright, so this is also need to bind to the select text. But for this, we will select the variant to be fill. So you see, immediately change the color to the fill state, and then the state will be neutral. Right, and for this, I like to have just make it bolder for the selected, like we have a value inside. Right, so for this, there's nothing for us to do for this. Okay. All right, so I'm going to just create, convert them to component base. Right, so this is select not fill base. Select single fill base. And this is select multiple fill base. Right. We are selected. So this is selected fill, and I'm gonna have make it to a different modes, right? So this is single. This is multiple. So I'm able to do a component swap easier in this way. Right. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is place this into this frame over here, and then remove the rest. So you have to select. You have the select box, and then you have the, by default is the unselected base inside. Right. I will hug this, and then have a minimum height of 40, and then I will just continue to hug this. Alright, so this will have a minimum height of 40 with the padding 12 and 8, and then when I have when I change this to be a multiple selected, like all this shape, and then when I have more than 3, the height of this select view will expand. Okay, but if not, the minimum, so it will still hard, but minimum it will still be 40 pixel. Right, so we need to bind the colors. Fill is select surface, the border will be select border, and then what else? That's it. And this error message, error status, errors rule, and I have the message. So the message have to call out. Okay, let me just come over here, select, and then expose this to text. There we go. So this will be your select view. Okay. Now, so we want to show this error message or for all the different state except for when it's in error. So what I'm gonna do here is we'll come down to the 03 select state and then create a variable called boolean. Boolean is to the error row. So this one, it allows you to trigger to say when do I want to show the error row, right? So all be false except when it's error, I'll make it true, right? So that means it will appear when I have an error state. Okay, here doesn't have any scope for you to select, right? So what I'm gonna do here is I come here and then I'll go to the this is, I think I need to turn this to a component first, right? See, okay, before I turn into a component, when I select this, I want to select I can only have the appearance, height, or apply the blend mode. I'm not able to find the variable. Alright, it's only when I turn it into a variable, then I'm able to have this apply the variable property. Alright, which is under the select, the error row. So for now it is in the default state, like the neutral state, so it'll be false. So when I check this, it'll be gone. Right. So the only way for us to actually, this is ready to use, but we see the placeholder color is too dark. It doesn't look like a placeholder. So I'm gonna reduce this to maybe 500, right? Okay, so I'm going to try the different state. For now, I'm going to pull this out, and then I would just define the state. Okay, I'm going to show you the wrong example first for the thing I'm going to do later by selecting the variant. So, right. So like this is like the default state of this component, the select view. So by default it will be not fill and it's neutral. Right, I want to change it to hover. So when I hover, it becomes this pretty dark color. So let's go to surface. Let's change the default will be this. When it's hover, is 200. Right. So the one at the top is a neutral, and then when I hover over this, is this color. When it is in active states, so it is color. Right. I think the border is too dark. Yeah, maybe 600 better. Yeah. So this looks nicer. I think the arrow also can use. So and then now let's look at the error. So you see, when I choose it to be the error state, the error message row will come up here, because we use the boolean property to bind this, right? And then this should be a error, not fill. It's not bind. Okay, let's go to the variant C GUI. Not fill error. Not fill. Okay. Go to the. So this when I need to do try the error, because something might be incorrect. Okay. One thing I learned is that sometimes we do need to bind too much property. If let's say for this you want this is going to be used in by another component, so you can just fix some default state, but you don't define too much. If not, it will also be locked to a certain state, right? So for this is also will be just fill, and that's it. So when I hover, this one should not have a change of color. And then disable. Right, disable looks more muted. So you know you can tell it's a disable state. Right. So and then when you see this is good for the not fill state. How about let's put them all into a container, a frame, and then let's use the foundation to change between the light and the dark mode. Right. And see how it looks like. So off the bat you can already have this in both light and dark mode already, right? You can see that when it's active and the arrow, the border is too harsh. So maybe 400. Yeah. And then this is too contrast too much. we're not going to bother too much about for this. Maybe the surface. Yeah, something like that, right? We're not going to bother too much, right? But you can always, like, you know, from this you can always play around the colors. Okay, so let's see what happens when we change them to fill. So all the things are the same, but this one didn't change to the fill, right? Because we have not bind these two version to the component itself, right? So this one I'm going to do now. So this is a very good so-called hack or trick by using the Figma variable. You are able to do that. So under the select, under the variant over here, we can create a boolean. It's called like selected, right? So selected will allow you to select between two things lah, right? So when it's not fill is false, when it's fill is true. Okay, then in order to do that, I'm gonna do something else. I'm going to pull these two to create a instance, and then I'm going to make them into a component set, right? And then this one, well, I will call it false. Okay, I'll remove the property number 2. We don't need that. And then this one will be true, right? Remember, keep in note that when we want to use a boolean in the Figma variable, you must name them the property, the different variant to be true and false. You cannot use yes and no. I tried that, you fail, right? It doesn't work. Alright, then just give it selected. This one doesn't have to be the same, right? I just show you. Okay, is selected. Alright, so I'm going to replace this by the by this one here. I'll just call it select content base. Right. So over here I have the not selected one, base, selected one, single select, selected one, multi-select. And then I have this select content base, which is going to be used over here, right? Sure, they are properly line, right? So now so back to this main component. So inside this I have this select content base, right? And then I can toggle between selected and not selected. right? So now I'm going to bind this selected toggle to the variable, Boolean variable which we created just now under the select variant, right? So I will check this. This one will be, because this is the variant is not filled, so it will definitely toggle to the false. Alright, so let me come again now. Inside the variant, we have this it's under text boolean. Actually, just pull it out. Okay, let me remove this. Right, because it does not belong to the text, so it just belongs to the arrow tag. No, not arrow, just like that. Okay, tell what, I'm gonna delete this group, go to select and create a new variable. It's called selected. Right, it will be a standalone, right? Then I will come back here to bind it again, because the old one is missing, it's broken. Okay, so just now over here, when I say it's not filled, this boolean will be false, and then when it's filled, this boolean will be true. Alright, that means if I have if it's bind to a property, or if it's bind to a component, inside a component you have two variants, one is false, one is true. Then when it's in the variant that is not filled, when the master component is in the not filled variant, then it will choose the component variant that is false. And then when I change it to the variant which is filled, then it will change to select the component variant that is with the property true, right? So I have this component, the select content base. I have two variants. So one is the selected false, the property is false, and then this property is true. Then when I put it inside here and then I bind it to this boolean, so which variant to show will be decided by the state of the parent component. So by default, it will be not filled, right? So it will show the not filled variant side. So let's come down here. See? So now all of them are showing the value because I have selected them to be the variant is the filled. Is the field property, and this is the one that is showing over here, right? So you can use this to, so imagine like last time we need to have a one variant which is empty and one variant that is filled. And then we have all the different variants states, like see this, you have the active state, and then you have the filled state, this is the default, you have the error state, you have the disabled state, and then you will repeat yourself for the multiple select options components. So it is just replaced by only one. And then you just have this base component with these two different variants, which you can toggle between these two. You can always create more. Okay, right. So I'm not going to show you something else. I'm going to like create the text property for the, so you can change the placeholder by something else, like select country, right, or select pet. Okay, and even for the selected one, you can so we are not able to select yet because we did not have the nested property. Okay, so the first one is I have to okay, before I get to this, so now we actually have the property up and running, right? We have the unselected unfilled state, where I can change the different states by using this appearance, the default, the neutral, the hover, the active, the error, and the disabled. And then we will have the same set of states for the field. Right, so now we are talking about like changing the able to change the property. Okay, so I have this, the property for both selected. Both of them have a different value, no, property name, right? This is called text, this is called value, right? And then over here, the first thing I need to do is to create a nested, expose the nested properties for this one, and also for this one, right? Then I need to expose the nested property of this. Okay, so now I'm gonna come back over here. You see, this is select view. This is the not view state. I can change the text over here. I don't have to click inside. I can just click here and then change this to, let's say, select department, right? And then select employee, right? This is not this is not property, so let's see if I can do this. Come over here, yeah, create a property. Then when I over here, I can change right, same over here. You see, the first time when I did this, I encountered this situation where when it's not selected, I'm able to the so-called the properties of the nested instances are exposed. Then we are able to change the, let's say, the text directly from here. But when it's selected, when it's the variant is filled, then you see that the nested instances, the property are not exposed. I'm not able to change it as well, right? And let's say for this, I'm able to select, I want to create a instance. Okay, I just have this single and multiple. That means when I select, when this is true, I can always change this to a single or multiple kind of input, right? So that means when this is selected, when this is in the field variant, I should be able to change this between the selected and the not select, the single or multiple kind of value. But now what we are seeing is that we are not able to change it at all because it's not exposed, right? And I keep trying to troubleshoot and see why is it not happening. And then I realized is that it's just showing that is the nested instances is just showing the not field base, which means that the not field base, which is this one, is exposed to the parent component, but not the one that is selected. So this is the selected field, the select field base. This is select not field base, right? And then over here, the select not field base is exposed. Then I realized after much troubleshooting is that because of this appearance that I've selected, or I set a default for this component itself, right? So once I remove this, then once I remove this, then when I come over here, then the one that is the select field base, the properties are now being exposed, right? Including the one that is like the select content base. So over here I have over here I only have the is selected unchecked. This one you cannot change because this is by the variant, right? So what is exposed is the one below it, which is the text for you to change, right? Then when it is in the field, so this one is still bind. Then over here the instance is exposed as well. So right now I'm able to have this, change this to a multiple select. So without creating two different components for single select, multi-select, and without creating like two variant of or multiple variants of this single component, you are able to toggle between a single select input field and a multi-select input field just by having one component and having a second layer of base component for the two different states, two different like variation of the field field state, right? So in a way it's more manageable now, right? You only have one component, two component, 3, 4, 5 component, and all controlled by the Figma variable. So by having just one that is exposed to the user, so all this that you see, I put a dot in front, that means they are not exposed. Like when you publish this, the user will only see this and then play around with this, but all these are not exposed to them. They will not need to bother with this at all, right? So I can always change this to multi-select, right? Right, so with this done, now I'm going to use the instance utilities plugin to allow us to create to insert like multiple instances of this selected chip, so that you do not need to create different variant with different number of chips. You just need to have one, and then you use this instance utility in order for you to add or remove those chips, right? So let me convert. So I turn on this instant utils plugin, and then I go to this row, and then I will convert it into a slot, right? So just ignore all the changes up here. Let's go inside to the row 1. Okay, then just change the name like chips, and then you just click, just select inherit the layout. Okay, then you just remove all this, just ignore them first. Okay, and then you will let's just say you just want to allow this kind of chip to be added to this slot. So just click plus, and then I'll just select this chip, and then just click check. Right, it does not allow. I'm not sure why. Click one more. I think it's because of this hidden text. Okay, then the default will be, I'll just remove this two, so that we will start with only one. Right, that means one, because they selected, right, so you only have by default it'll be one. Then you can, if you want, you can always add more. Alright, and then this search, we can always set it to it's in slots, right? That's maybe let's just remove the search thing first. Okay. Right. So when I select this, when I change the selected the field variant, and then I select this to be multiple, then I can use this instance utils plugin to add the number of chips that I need. You can always ignore the initial layout. When you apply the changes, then it will apply correctly. Okay, let me add one more. Okay, so there's something wrong. I think it's because the height is supposed to be hard. I'm going to try again. Chips, just want to remove them, apply. Okay. A few more. Good. There you go. So I have just one instance of this. one of this component where I can use the instance util to manipulate and select the number of chips that I need. I don't know why something is still hard. We'll just set to minimum height 40. Right, I can use this to change the number of the number of cycle chips I have without needing to create multiple variants for the different number of chips. Okay, and this will work directly if I change it to the dark mode, except for this one, which I do not have a dark mode for it, so you will always remain in the light mode. Right. Okay, so that's it. 1 hour and 20 minutes creating a select view where you can toggle between a not view version, and then you still have the different states, right? And you have a dark and light modes, and then also allow you to have a field variant where you can further select, you can further configure it to be single select, like single select or multi select kind of input, right? Of course, that this you can definitely expand it to without creating more variants. You can always create more different variants of the or different versions of the selected view base, right? Let's say I want it to have a one with a face, single with avatar. Then I'm going to avatar here and just grab a simple one inside, put inside here. Spacing, then I can come here to insert a new instance swap. Then when I come over here, change this to single with the name, right? Forgot to. This is called value. Let's just call this value as well. Right, then when I change this to just a single, because the text name we gave it is the same, input text, and then over here is also called input text. So when you swap between between instances, because the name are the same, so you are able to retain that name over here, even though you are switching between two different instances, right? See, So next time, let's say you're gonna have another one which is like, let's say date, right, or a date range or time or color. So what you need to do is just add one more base variation, and then add this to the instant swap, and then probably publish the updates, and then now you have a new one more type of selected state, right, without needing to add to your this very large component props. Right, so hope you hope you like it. Let me know if you let me know if you have any questions. So like even for this, I think it's due to text. Yeah, if you have any questions. Alright, hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoy this video so far. It has been like almost 1.5 hours, but it covers most of things that you will need. To create a component that you will by and making full use of the Figma variable to reduce the number of component props that you have, and still be able to expand them and have the freedom to have different variations for the different states, right? So what I've not covered is like I can also turn this into a view mode where I remove the background, I remove the padding, I remove all the colors. I can also remove the icon, so that I can retain the same property, same component, but I can switch it between a one with a field, input field, and then one that's like in view mode, right? But that is really pushing it. Okay, so the next video will probably be about, it will be on the sizing. Yeah, the sizing. Okay, and you can also like play around with the border radius using that also, right? Okay, that is a lot of things for you to go through and digest. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.